I'd like to call to order the Hazel Park City Council meeting for December 13, 2016. Roll call.
Mayor Parisi,
Excused.
Mayor Pro Tem Keaton,
Present.
Councilman LaCuro,
Here.
Councilman Webb,
Here.
Councilman Selman.
Here.
Will you please stand for the invocation and pledge of allegiance, Pastor David Perry from Landmark Church.
Let us pray. Father, we thank you for the Christmas season and its profound meaning. We thank you for another outstanding year of blessings in Hazel Park, Michigan. Thank you for your favor upon our city. We are blessed with new employment and new businesses and increases in residencies. We are grateful for our city administrators, our mayor, and this city council that serves with distinction and with honor. When the righteous rule, the city rejoices. Thank you for our outstanding first responders and the respective chiefs. We are truly blessed. Protect them and hide them beneath the shadow of your wings, we pray. We ask your favor upon these proceedings. Give wisdom in all discussions. May you be pleased with all decisions, for ultimately we serve you. These requests we make in the name of Jesus. Amen.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Chair would entertain a motion to approve the agenda as presented.
So moved, Mr. Mayor. Pro Tem.
Motion is made
Support the discussion.
and supported. Discussion on the motion.
I'd like to entertain a letter that we received after public discussion.
Okay,
If you don't mind.
I have it. Any other changes to the agenda as presented? My understanding is that under administrative report number 2, we're removing that.
We are withdrawing that item.
Other than those 2 changes, are there any other changes to the agenda? Being none, discussion has been held. Any further discussion? Being none, dissension to the motion? Being none, we have an agenda. Next item on the agenda is a special visitor from the North Pole. Survey
Merry Christmas! I would like to say Merry Christmas to the boys and girls of Hazel Park, the residents of Hazel Park, and to the City Council. Merry Christmas!
Thank you for visiting.
As I am very busy this time of year, I have to cut it a little short and get back and help the elves. So, carry on. Merry Christmas. Merry Christmas.
I guess that dispels the myth about one of our fellow council people.
Hey, you never know. Santa has a lot of helpers.
We're a lot of requirements. All right, the next item on the agenda is civic announcements. We have, under civic announcements, Chuck Ledoux.
Kind of a tough act to follow.
Do you have presents?
No, I don't. Chuck Ledoux, 339 West George, here on behalf tonight of the Historical Commission with a couple of reminders.
First of all, the ad deadline for our 75th commemorative edition is coming up December 31st. Ads start at a mere $35 and go up from there. Anybody interested could call 248-819-9560. Ask for Rosie Williams, she's in charge of the ads. Secondly, on February 2nd, mark your calendars, will be the opening of the Hazel Park Historical Museum. That will be on the 75th anniversary of the city. So mark your calendars, more details on that.
What time?
We'll follow.
You know, hold it.
We don't know. That's all I got.
Mr. Mayor, I have a question for Chuck. Are we planning a ceremony? We should probably plan a ceremony, because people are beginning to ask me now. I said, Mr. Hitchcock, that some of the other folks in town said, are we gonna do a ceremony to commemorate the incorporation? And the vote was held in December of '41, right after Pearl Harbor, a few weeks after Pearl Harbor, and the actual incorporation took place in February. So, I mean, I think we should really think about doing this, and I'll probably assign it to some of my department heads tomorrow. And I'm sure the Historical Commission is going to want to play a role in this as well. It's time to do something, I think, to commemorate our 75th anniversary with a special ceremony that day. And this should probably be the theme of Memorial Day, and this should be the theme of, I think, this coming year, that we have achieved 75 proud years as a city. So,
Just a note that if you don't know the history, the museum building that we're in now is where they've held the first city council meeting. And that's where the first city council mayor was sworn in on that day.
well, if they don't hurry up with the new edition, maybe we will hold the 75th anniversary council meeting there at that building.
That actually sounds like a good idea. Why don't we go ahead and plan for our council meeting? There you go.
Yeah.
For the
So why don't we go ahead and do that then? Is it,
Or see if it's possible.
He's telling me it's possible. Well, right now, we're not live, we're tape delayed because of the fact that we just don't have that capability without the cable room. So we could shoot a meeting there. I think that's a great idea, even if I think we shoot for that. It's a good idea.
Yeah. Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah. you have it.
Beth, are you civic announcements or are you public discussion?
Public.
Okay, any other civic announcements? Being none, we'll move right on to public discussion. Beth Howland.
Beth Holland, 305 West Milton. I have to follow up what Chuck said. He wanted to have the meeting. I'm glad you all picked up on that. It would be really cool to have the 75th anniversary marked with the council meeting at our first public library. My comments tonight, the last meeting I came before you with the animal control officer and volunteers, and I think that we acknowledged that doing direct adoptions out of animal control was approved. And I want to give you guys some good news. We have placed senior cats and dogs that wouldn't have gone anywhere. They would have sat there and rotted for months after months. We have had new people reaching out to us. We had our first dog adoption this week, and we had 19 cats. This time last week, we were down to 5. 2 are moving to Indiana at the end of this week. So it has just been an absolute turnaround. And being it's Christmas, I want to share a story just real briefly with you. If you follow the animal control page, you probably saw the picture of the little tiny white dog that we said was blind and probably 15. Sunday, in the horrible weather that we had, an officer was coming down Russell and somehow spotted this little white thing amongst all the big white piles of things and scooped this pup up and brought it to the pound. And turns out the dog is 15 and is blind and is deaf, and we thought, holy crap, we're never going to find the owner. We call these LOL dogs, little old lady dogs, because you could tell that they're just loved, fed table scraps and spoiled rotten, but they're older. And the only reason somebody would keep around an 18-year-old blind dog is if this is their best friend. So we reached out through social media. Justin worked a bunch of rescue angles, and miracle of miracle last night, somebody reached out to him and said, we think we found your owner. She's got to be in her 80s. We're having trouble communicating with her. Justin got a hold of a volunteer who went over to this woman's house. The pup was picked up literally one door away from where she lives. And she had been taking chicken bones outside, and somehow the dog that was always on a leash just went out, and she didn't realize it. And in the 5 minutes that she didn't realize the dog was gone, an officer had picked it up out of the freezing weather. So the happy news is, Miss Edith, who is pushing 90, is reunited with her 18-year-old, legally deaf, legally blind pup that has been her best friend for a long time. So you guys maintaining animal control, little miracles happen all the time. And she said she'd give each and every one of you who made this possible a big hug. So thank you.
Thank you.
Emily?
Is there any other public discussion? Being none, we'll close public discussion. I have a letter here from Jan Parisi I'd like to read at this time. Dear City Clerk, members of council, and residents and employees of the City of Hazel Park, it is with a heavy heart that I must resign my position as mayor of the City of Hazel Park. I am currently facing a challenging health situation, and I also have family responsibilities that require my attention. It has been one of the greatest honors of my life to serve the City of Hazel Park, first as the first councilwoman, and then as the first woman to be elected mayor. Working together, we have overcome many challenges as a community. Michigan's system of municipal finance is indeed broken, and the Hazel Park was hit hard by the housing collapse in 2008. While other cities like us slipped into state control, Hazel Park maintained its independence by working together and sharing our sacrifices. This is truly a remarkable community. When I first ran for city council back in 2003, I campaigned for clean and safe neighborhoods. I am pleased to report that crime has been reduced significantly, and we are now updating our housing stock. I am also proud of the role that the Neighborhood Enrichment Committee, a group that I co-founded, has played in revitalizing our community. Those dedicated volunteers truly made a great difference in Hazel Park. Likewise, I am proud to have supported other valuable groups of the community, such as the Hazel Park Promise Zone and all of the wonderful opportunities the Promise Zone provides for our students, as well as all the charitable works of the Hazel Park Alliance Club. Together with Jack Lloyd, Jeff Keaton, Mike Webb, and Andy Lucuro, I served on the longest intact city council in Hazel Park's history. After I became mayor, we welcomed Tom Selman, and we continued our tradition of cooperation and mutual respect. This cooperative attitude helped our community weather more challenges than can be listed in this letter. I will always love Hazel Park. The friends and the neighbors that I have met on this journey are now my extended family. Our city is a special place, and I believe we have a bright future. God bless Hazel Park.
Amen.
Jan Parisi. The chair would entertain a motion to receive and file.
Mayor, I'll make the motion to receive Jan Parisi's letter into the record.
Motion's made.
Support.
And supported. Is there discussion on the motion?
Mayor, I'd like to make a couple, Mayor Pro Tem, sorry, make a couple comments. Jan was a wonderful, outgoing councilwoman here, and for many different ideas she had for us, we come up with together as a group here, and some of her intuition and thoughts on processes and how we got to some of our goals was very key to the future of our community. And it's, I'd like to say thank you to her for her commitment and the role she played in helping us, the city of Hazel Park, get through the tough times. And I wish her all the best in her endeavors in the future. Hopefully, things turn out for the best for her and her family. Thank you.
Thank you. Any other discussion, comments?
No, I'd just say she will be missed. Serving, she may have been small in stature, but she cast a big shadow here in Hazel Park. Touched many areas.
Mayor Pro Tem,
Yes.
I too grew to know and respect Mayor Parisi when she was a councilman, way before I was on the council. And I am astounded at the amount of energy that she expelled and gave to the city of Hazel Park. She did so many good things for our city and our citizens, many of which were unknown and unrecognized. And I will encourage everyone to do what I'm going to do. And that is keep her in our prayers.
Mr. Mayor Pro Tem,
Yes.
I just want to say that as city manager of Hazel Park, it was an honor and a pleasure to work with and work for Mayor Parisi. She was one of the truly important leaders in the history of this community. She genuinely cared about the community, and she cared about its people, and she cared about individual people. The people that Jan meets, she cares about, and she always tries to help them and to see that their basic needs are met. She is genuinely one of the most kind-hearted people that I know. And she was also always very brave, because some of the things that this city government has had to do and ask of our residents and ask of our employees, they have not always been easy things. But because we do not fear tough decisions, City of Hazel Park, as she said in her letter, we will remain free of state control, and now we do have a bright future. And Jan was one of those really brave leaders that was never afraid to say, you know what, yeah, we're gonna have to ask our residents to pay a little bit more. We're gonna have to ask our employees to accept a little bit of a sacrifice. We're going to have to tell people who want something, no. And she was always very brave and always courageous when it came to doing the right thing. And that's an example that I hope that I can follow as city manager. That's an example that you folks have always followed, and I hope we continue to follow, because I think it's so critical to our city's future. But again, she is in my prayers. I wish her all the best, and like I said, she's just a great lady, and her leadership and her presence will be missed.
Thank you. I certainly concur with everything that's been said. She was a remarkable woman. Again, her heart was probably as big as she was. Her tenure as mayor and councilwoman in Hazel Park, all of these things that were mentioned in this letter that Hazel Park has accomplished is in no small part due to her. I mean, she is a big, big part of what has happened in Hazel Park. The energy that woman had is unbelievable. I mean, she was a virtual tornado when it came to committees and meetings and picnics and anything else that happened in Hazel Park. And her love for this city and its residents is unsurpassed, and probably will be for a long, long time. Thank you, Jan. And looking forward to her being able to retire and enjoy
Enjoy her
the
family.
fruits of her labor and her family. So the motion was made and discussion was held, is there any further discussion or comment? Being none, is there a dissension to the motion? Being none, the motion carries. Next item on the agenda.
Mayor Pro Tem,
Yes.
before we move on, I would, providing the Mayor Pro Tem has no objection, make another motion that we ask the administration to craft an appropriate resolution of appreciation and recognition for the magnificent service of Jan Parisi, and arrange to present it at an appropriate time.
The motion has been made
Support.
and supported. Discussion on the motion. Being none, motion of this magnitude calls for a roll call vote.
Excuse me. Councilman Selman,
Yes.
Councilman Webb,
Yes.
Councilman LaCuro,
Yes.
Mayor Pro Tem Keaton.
Yes. Motion was made, discussion was held, vote was taken. The ayes have it. Thank you very much.
And, Mr. Mayor, we discussed today, Mary Ann and I, about ordering the appropriate souvenir gavel for her to commemorate her service, so we'll get that ordered up.
Great.
And be prepared to present that to her maybe at a future meeting, whenever she feels like coming around to collect it.
Okay. Consent agenda is next on the agenda.
Motion to approve, Mayor Pro Tem.
Motion's been made
Support.
to approve and supported. Discussion on the motion. Being none, dissension to the motion. Being none, motion carries. Administrative reports, item 1. Ed?
Mr. Mayor, the administration respectfully requests extending the audit contract with UHY. They have been our auditors for the past couple of years. They've done an outstanding job, and we work well with Clint Moran, who acts as our finance director. And it's a good thing, too, to have access to both of the two big major accounting firms that have a lot of financing. So I would respectfully request that the council approve this contract extension for auditor services.
Mayor Pro Tem,
Yes.
I move that we concur with the recommendation of the administration and extend the contract for 3 years with UHY for audit services.
Motion's been made. Support. And supported. Is there discussion on the motion? Being none, dissension to the motion? Being none, motion carries. Item 2 was removed. That brings us to item 3.
Mr. Mayor Pro Tem, the administration respectfully requests approval of the subrecipient agreement between Oakland County and the City of Hazel Park for the Oakland County Auto Theft Program. This is a multi-jurisdictional auto theft prevention and recovery task force under the direction and supervision of the Oakland County Sheriff's Office.
Mayor Pro Tem?
Yes.
Take a motion to approve the 2017 Automobile Theft Prevention Authority grant.
Motion's been made. Support. And supported. Discussion on the motion?
Mayor Pro Tem,
Yes.
the chief's recommendation on this?
Approved.
Thank you.
Motion's been made, seconded, discussion has been held. Is there any further discussion on the motion?
No, sir.
Being none, dissension to the motion? Being none, the motion carries. Boards and commissions?
Mr. Mayor Pro Tem, the administration will bring multiple appointments for boards and commissions to you for the January meeting.
Thank you.
Tabled items? We have none?
No table items.
New business, is there any new business being brought to the floor?
I'd like to make the appointment of Jeffrey A. Keaton to fill the vacancy of mayor at this time.
Support?
Motion's been made and supported. Discussion on the motion? Dissension to the motion? Being none, Motion carries.
Mr.
Thank you.
Mayor, I would also respectfully request that a new mayor pro tem be appointed tonight in case you're out of the city for whatever reason that you may find yourself out of the city.
Mayor, Pro Tem Mayor Keaton. First of all, I haven't said that for 22 years, I think.
Wow.
I would move that we appoint Councilman Webb as Mayor Pro Tem for the balance of his term.
I support that.
Motion's been made and supported. Discussion on the motion. Being none, dissension to the motion. Being none, the motion carries unanimously. Congratulations or condolences.
I'd like to say thank you to my colleagues for the support. Thank you.
You're welcome. Good job. Congratulations, Mr. Mayor.
Thank you.
Again.
Thank you. I appreciate that. New business. Is there any further new business? Anything else need to be brought to the floor? Administration, council? Okay. We'll close new business. Show cause. Zero show cause.
So cause hearings are postponed until January. Bring a sleeping bag.
Okay, should we have a special?
You know, maybe we should.
If we have that many?
Maybe we should. I think we probably
Separate
should.
night for that?
Just do a show cause meeting if we can
Like
get
the
you.
following day after the council meeting, which is scheduled?
Yeah. Yes.
Whatever works with all the other schedules of meetings that we have going on.
Can we make that happen?
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. Communications from department head.
Good evening.
Good evening.
First, I'd like to wish everybody a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year. I don't think we'll be back meeting until then again in this format. A couple things I would like to bring to the attention of our residents is we will be suspending the parking enforcement for road maintenance from the morning of December 24th, and we will begin enforcing again on the morning of January 2nd. We do this every year just to allow people who have, families and friends and get-togethers to be able to park on the road. So obviously that will not
Unless there's a
include
snow
snow
emergency.
emergencies. If there is a snow emergency, obviously all the roads are ordered off the roadways. Another item I'd like to discuss briefly is this year we've had 2 pedestrian or bicyclist fatalities involved with motor vehicles. Ferndale's had multiple ones. They had one the other night. And I think it's important to bring the attention to everybody that with it getting darker sooner, it's important that you please stay out of the roadway. We teach our children to stay out of the roadway. We teach everybody to cross at intersections, cross where there's lights, cross where the intersection is well lit, or there's a crosswalk, so we can prevent these type of tragic incidents. The last 2 that we had were determined to be the responsibility of the pedestrian or the bicyclist. It's just extremely difficult to see individuals in the roadway when you're looking for vehicles and not looking for people. So I think better choices need to be made. We obviously want to keep our citizens and our residents, our business owners, the people that travel through our city safe at all times. And part of that is preventing these type of incidents. And the way to do that is to, please stay out of the road, cross where you're supposed to cross. And hopefully we can eliminate some of these terrible tragedies. And I think that's all I have to say tonight.
Any comments, questions?
I have a couple of comments or even a question for the chief. Do you think we should do a little bit more of educational awareness for jaywalking for the future? And maybe post a few signs up across some of our thoroughways to let people know that jaywalking is
Yeah, that absolutely can be done, and like I said, we're willing to do anything we can to try to prevent someone from losing their life.
Yeah, I'm not-
Whether it's
I'm not
their
looking-
poor decision or not.
I don't think, I'm not looking to hand out tickets for jaywalking, but I think that an awareness for it would be more appropriate. Well, we just put up a sign to say,
Sure.
protect your life, don't jaywalk.
Yeah, we go through this every year, of course, with the kids in the summertime walking in the street, and we've obviously warned more than we've had to issue violations to. So, I think that's absolutely appropriate. We'll look at putting some signs up and,
Maybe make some pamphlets up when you do pull someone over or
Sure.
jaywalking to hand it to them and say, hey, be aware this is it might be a simple thing, but, it could cost you your life or injure you.
sure, absolutely. I mean, there's probably not a day go by that at least somebody in this room doesn't see somebody that's walking in the roadway or riding their bike the wrong way on the roadway or, and it's, it only takes a second. It only takes less than fractions of a second to be distracted by something. You just don't see them, especially like I said, it's darker, longer, earlier. And if you're not looking for a vehicle, looking for somebody in the road walking or a bike, it's very difficult to see, so.
Chief?
Yes, sir.
Do we have a central place where people can find out what the regulations for bicycles are in terms of lighting and,
Yeah, you can always come to the police department, we have that information on.
okay? Do we have, so
Pamphlets.
they have pamphlets and
Yes,
everything?
that's correct.
Okay.
Yeah, I'll see if we can't put some more of that on the website. We probably already have a lot of it on the police website now. So we'll see if there's something we can add.
And then I had a question for the administration in terms of the lifting of the parking regulations from January 24th to January 2nd. Is that going to be on cable?
We can put that on cable as well.
Be December 20th.
December.
24th.
Yes, December.
That was an awfully big lift.
Okay, I don't have anything else. Anybody else? Thank you, Chief.
Thank you.
Thank you. Seeing your own, here's our multi-department there.
I just want to briefly echo what the chief said. Mr. Klobuchar and I had an experience today where the exact thing almost happened. So, in addition to provisions that Councilman Webb mentioned, Mayor Pro Tem Webb, I'm sorry, mentioned and other things, use your common sense too and cross the crosswalks. And it happened to me almost on the way here where somebody was crossing when it was my right of way on a green light and I couldn't see him because it wasn't well lit. So just be careful out there. Happy holidays to everyone. And I also wanted to just briefly say what a privilege it was to work for Jane Parisi, and also what a outstanding mayor and council person she was, but what a more amazing human being and person she really is. Thank you.
No more department heads. City manager.
Yeah, just again, to echo what Jeff said first of all about the jaywalking. We were northbound on John R., right at 9 Mile. Someone gets off the bus stop, walks right across from the bus stop and almost walks right into traffic. I mean, the driver slammed on their brakes, thankfully. It was so close. I thought she was gonna get hit. We both thought, well, there it is right there. I thought you were gonna see it right there. So again, this is pedestrian error. I read some things about inadequate lighting. The lighting is adequate there. What this was simply a jaywalking case, and it was a matter of pedestrian error. There's not much we can do if you're not safely crossing the street. And in both those fatalities, they were clearly both pedestrian and bicyclist error.
At the bus stop right by City Hall?
This one was by City Hall today.
They do it all the time.
This was, I know, but nonetheless, they do it all the time. And again, if you're going to see another fatality if people don't cross the street safely. I mean, one of the first things that my parents taught me was look both ways and cross the street safely. Do not stand in the middle of the street. Do not cross the street halfway. I mean, I feel very badly for this pedestrian, but one of the interesting comments was when, on Facebook was, well, someone had chastised them for blaming the lights or blaming speeding, and again, the lights are, that area is well lit. We know that the individual was not speeding, their vehicle had a black box. So this wasn't excessive speed, this wasn't our failure to enforce speeding, this wasn't inadequate lighting, this was simply a case of the pedestrian making a mistake. But it was interesting, on Facebook, it was, well, then who are we supposed to blame? Unfortunately, sometimes in these situations, there's no one to blame. It was simply an error, and unfortunately, that person's error cost them their life. It's a tragedy, but not all tragedies, you know, are, there's not a government solution to every tragedy. The solution is much simpler. Please use good judgment before you cross the street. Terrible tragedy, both times, but again, as Chief Barner said, we can investigate these things. There's footage we know, we can see in both cases. It was clearly the error of the person who's now deceased. Snow removal, I want to thank our Department of Public Works. Did a very good job of getting out there and getting the whole city done yesterday. This was an extremely significant and heavy snow that we've had to cope with. We're doing the best we can to keep up on top of it, and we'll be cleaning up streets throughout the week on street maintenance day, trying to go back and plow up some of the areas that were left due to cars parking on the street. We try to write a significant number of tickets during every snow emergency. Unfortunately, we never get every car that is illegally parked. So please do remove your vehicles during a snow emergency. If not, you are subject to being ticketed. We did issue a significant number of tickets. We can't get everybody, but we do write different sections of the city every snow emergency, and we try to respond when there's a complaint. So we'll do the best that we can, but we ask the residents to please work with us. And also, if you have an elderly neighbor, or you have someone that's physically incapacitated, please help them with their snow. Especially if you have a snow blower. Now, I have somebody that's supposed to come and do my snow, and the guy didn't show up. And my neighbor across the street brought his snow blower over, he just did my snow. And that was so nice of him. And, you know, Diane wanted to give him a few bucks, and he wouldn't take it. He just was a nice man who did a good deed, did mine, did a couple of the other neighbors. You know, Adam on my street, thank you so much. Really appreciate the help that you gave me. This is a great community, so please, like I said, if you can help someone, please help them. We had the petitions, once again, brought to the city clerk's office by that same group for body cameras. They didn't make any significant changes. This is just, again, if the residents have any questions about this, the language has not been approved. We ask you to not sign these silly petitions. We did try to have what we thought was a responsible dialogue with this individual and another individual. Apparently, it was like talking to one of the zombies from the Walking Dead series. He just didn't get it. We're not opposed to body cameras. In fact, we are examining body cameras and looking at body cameras as we speak to come up with something that may work for the city of Hazel Park. We also need to be cognizant of the fact that we don't do these things in a vacuum. What we do purchase and deploy needs to be compatible with other jurisdictions in the area, and it also needs to be compatible with the county prosecutor's office and other law enforcement jurisdictions. It needs to be compliant with rules set out by the court system. So we can't have, this isn't just about body cameras. There are also things in this proposal that are very anti-police. And again, it's just, again, as I said before, it's one of the worst pieces of legislation that I've ever seen. So I would urge our residents not to sign these petitions and to contact my office if they have any questions, or contact the city attorney or our chief of police. We'll be happy to discuss these things with you. I've had a couple people ask me what happened to my eye. I have not spoken about this, but I will tell the story since I'm getting people asking me. I'm seeing people out shopping. What happened was I had some skin cancer on my face under my left eye that was removed at the end of April. It left a significant hole in my face, so they cut and slid my face over to cover the hole. The surgery wasn't completely successful, so I just had another surgery the week before Thanksgiving to hopefully fix the problem. It'll take about 6 months before my face area around my eye settles, and we'll know whether or not we had a good result. So for those of you who were curious, and for those of you who wish me well, now I've hopefully explained. There's nothing serious. I feel great. Everything is good. It's just about waiting for time to pass so that I can recover. I've already spoken about what a great public official that I thought Jan Parisi was, and I want to wish her all the best in her retirement. She absolutely will be missed. And finally, I want to close talking about my good friend Jeff Keaton, who is our new mayor. I have known Jeff Keaton since the early 80s, since I was his son's t-ball coach when I worked for the recreation department. Jeff Keaton is a wise guy. He is a pair of safe hands in which to place the city's future. He has good judgment. He is a smart man, and I look forward to working with him to build a great Hazel Park. And I know that you will do a great job. Once again, Jeff, this isn't your first rodeo. This is the second time now that you've been mayor of the city of Hazel Park, and I look forward to working with you in the next few months to do some great things for this community. So congratulations.
Thank you. Communications from city attorney.
Jan, you have anything?
First of all, I'd like to say, this time of year, I really enjoy. It's not because of the time off of work, it's not because of the gifts or anything, it's because people actually are giving, they're caring, they go out of their way for others, as Mr. Klobuchar just got through demonstrating with his neighbor. It's a great feeling. I mean, just phone calls and inquiries, people speak nicer, they go out of their way to be helpful, and I really enjoy this time of year. To reiterate again what Mr. Klobuchar said was with regard to this body camera proposal. It's not only the fact of someone trying to tell our people who don't...
He doesn't live here. He's not from Hazel Park.
What we will do and what's in their best interest, maybe not ours at this point in time. It's the fact that in their proposal, they put in language which would tell us how we can use what has been garnered from these cameras and what we cannot use and how we can use it, which is not legal. We have rules of evidence. We have rules of procedure that the police department must follow. And these violate those rules. So to bring in something which is to tell our police department, you're not going to protect your residents anymore and you're going to do it the way that I want you to do it. We need to stand up to these people and let them know that we are not going to fall for this. This is ridiculous. Why don't they bring it in their own city? It's not because of the number of votes anymore. These residents voted to up the number of signatures required on a petition.
Largely in response to that silly proposal.
Exactly. So let's show them now, by being wise, by actually reading this proposal and saying, question, I'm not signing this. This is not our best interest. This is all for you. This is for you to make a name. And I'll tell you, in the 21 years I have been with this city, I have learned that Hazel Park residents are very, very intelligent. And they're going to show. And I would really appreciate them following through with that. I wish everybody a Merry Christmas. I'm going to miss Jan. She's a wonderful, wonderful lady to work for. I'm sure I'll see her out and about at times, but I mean, just her coming into the city, and she's always had this wonderful smile on her face, huge. And she remembers everyone. She was just so giving, so warm. Yeah, you've got big shoes to fill there. And I know we'll move on with her blessing and keep marching forward and doing great things for the city. And as Mr. Cloutier stated, Mayor Keaton has the experience under his belt to move us forward. And I look forward to working with the new mayor and Mayor Pro Tem and council.
Thank you. Ernie?
I have a few comments. I think when we look back and hear about the historical 75th year coming up, this retirement of Jan is once again a success story for the people that founded and live in Hazel Park. I have expounded this theory as long as I've been city attorney, in excess of probably 25 years. It's almost a genetic trait that people in Hazel Park have, and that is doing the right thing. If you've read the paper, there was in fact an article in the Sunday paper regarding the difficulties that cities have had with loss of assessments because of the Headley amendments and the decrease in the size of fire and police departments, state control. And yet Hazel Park has continued since its founding to remain independent. People never, to my knowledge, turning down millages. They pass millages for everything that makes sense. They're taxed at the maximum capacity. And it's individuals like Jan who don't run for council or mayor in Hazel Park because they have big political ambitions. They do it strictly out of their love for the city. And that's true of all the council people. It isn't that you go to other cities and that's a stepping stone from council. I'll be a state rep, I'll be a state senator, I'm gonna be the mayor, governor, so forth and so on. And it's just been a history of Hazel Park that somehow everybody works together to make this community. I respect Jeff, I know he's gonna be terrific. Every council person here becomes terrific when they become on the council. So Jan's life has been appreciated here. I only wish her, as everybody said, and Tom Selman says, in my religion and every religion, we should pray for her. I hope she lives to be 120 and has a good, healthy life.
Thank you. Communications from mayor and council, Mayor Pro Tem.
Thank you, Mayor. Congratulations. I'd like to have a couple of comments about Jan Creasy. When she first got elected, she was just full of energy and inspired me to keep going. I was only on there since 01. She got elected in 03. And she taught me a few things about community spirit at that point, because I was a lot younger. At that point, I was probably in my early 30s. And I worked a full-time job, working a lot and raising a family. And you learn how to make adjustments and cope with things, and all the meetings we have to make and all the commitments we attend is trying on your time. And she just never seemed to run out of energy. That was what my point is. She just constantly had a different way of looking at things. And she still to this day, God bless her, still has the energy out there if she could continue. And she knows what's best for her. This is why she sent this letter as to what is, I think, good for her family. And I can respect that. And that's something that she said in her letter. We all have mutual respect for each other up here. No matter if we agree or disagree. We have always kept our emotions and our feelings toward a particular issue or how we go about getting something done or accomplishing a goal at this table for our community. We all have our big hearts out there, and what we feel is what we try to achieve. And she's always had sort of, sometimes Andy and I will have debates on some issues, and her too, she would get into some debates, but she would always be the one that would say, hey, guys, let's talk about this. We've always had, she's always really been that person for us, kind of calm us down sometimes on an issue. But we'll talk about it, and we've had discussions here at the table about issues, and she's run a very good meeting to control this. And I wish her and her family the best. I think she's a wonderful woman and accomplished a lot here as the first woman mayor and done very well. And I want to thank her and say thank you for working with us for the years you've committed here, and I wish you all the best. Also, I'd like to say congratulations to our new mayor, and welcome back.
Thank you.
The historical committee has done a wonderful job with the building that has been provided over there. It looks wonderful. They've done a lot of work, and I'm excited. Hopefully, we have the next meeting in February there to commemorate this. Other than that, Merry Christmas, Happy New Year. Be careful, drive safe. Watch out for pedestrians. Maybe we should look at a couple of areas we could put another couple of little crosswalks up for people to not have to walk all the way down to a light.
We are looking at that.
And do a traffic study on those particular issues so we actually just don't put them in the wrong spot. So, thank you.
Thank you. Councilman Selman.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. A week ago this evening, I had the honor of going to an event called the Blue Light Project, held at St. Justin's Church, to honor all of the police officers and firefighters, law enforcement who gave their lives in the last year, and also to honor those who are currently serving. And it was a very moving evening. Made even more moving for me personally because I sat behind Jan Parisi and her husband Rich for this whole evening. But I was especially proud because this event was held in Hazel Park, and I think we can't ever give enough honor to those who have given their lives in the service of our communities, in the first responders, because my goodness, we would be so lost without them. Also, I want to compliment, as has been mentioned, the first responders with snowplows. They did an amazing job. I am fortunate in that I live on the corner of a side street and the northbound service drive, so I get to watch them, and I see several other cities' plows come by. But my goodness, our little town was right there on the money, and our guys did a good job, and the residential streets were done on a very timely basis, and kudos to all of those in that department. Mayor Parisi, you will still be Mayor Parisi in my mind. I will miss you sitting at this table. I will, as I said, continue to pray for you. And as I always say at the end of each meeting, if you love someone, tell them so. If you have children, hug them and tell them that you love them. And Mayor Parisi, there are many of us who love you. Thank you.
Councilman LaCure.
Thank you, Mr. To follow up what the police chief, Barner, was saying, that it's, and I've said it a few times, bicyclists in Michigan are required by law to have lights on when it's dark. I didn't always do it myself. I've done it riding my bikes a lot more in the last few years, but it's $50 or $60 for some good lights on your bicycle is a lot better than hospital bills or losing your life. And people are out riding their bikes in this weather. I mean, some people, it's the way they get around. So please do that. With Jan Parisi, one of my favorite memories, one of the things she did start with the neighborhood enrichment was the garden tours. It was so nice to go around to all around the city and see some of the great yards. The people just poured themselves into their yards, and there's some great yards. And I really enjoyed it. I would ride my bicycles around. They were a lot of fun. I missed them when they stopped, and I think they were going to come back again, so I hope they do. That was a very fond memory. I just say God bless you, Jan and Rich Parisi, and all your family. I want to say congratulations to the new Mayor Jeff Keaton and the new Mayor Pro Tem Mike Webb. It's been an honor to serve with Jan and with all of you. Everybody enjoy the holidays. Have a safe and a happy New Year. Thank you.
Thank you. We could probably go on for hours with Jan Parisi stories and our feelings for Jan. The accomplishments she had. Actually, the idea of the first female mayor probably pales in comparison to the other stuff that she's done as the first, not the first, but a caring human being in this position. I mean, she was just phenomenal as mayor, and she did push us forward. The snow, when it came, again, the city did a great job. Those guys are just crazy good with that snow. Of course, the people are complaining, oh, there was ice in the corner of my street. It's funny how you can get complacent. I noticed that when you have like the computers and the microwaves, and now you find yourself at the microwave going, come on, I don't have all minute, to get this, when it would take 2 hours before.
Yep.
So you'll always find something to complain about, but you're gonna have to work real hard to try and find it in Hazel Park as it relates to our services. Happy holidays to everyone. Be careful out there. And thank you very much for coming out and participating in the democratic process.
Motion to adjourn?
Motion made to adjourn and supported. Dissension to the vote? There isn't any.